Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty blog, and welcome to this week's Pick 5. Now if you read the blog this week, you know that I had a baby. And now you're probably thinking, why are you at the office? You know what? I made a mistake on Tuesday. I can admit it. I came to the office, I went home, my wife was not happy. I could tell because she was crying and yelling at me. And we never yell. Not to sound like those perfect annoying people that don't fight. Yeah, man, it was different. My bad, right? I shouldn't have gone to the office the day after the baby was born. Misread the signals there. But my daughter's in daycare today, and Jenna, I can't think, by the way, because I'm not really sleeping. Jenna said, go to the office. So here I am, and I am filming my Pick 5. So the market's nuts, and I realized that I've started the last couple of Pick 5s by showing sales from the previous week. Guys, it's so depressing that I think I'm just going to skip that part. Let me say this. Yes, I sell real estate for a living. Yes, if you're a market bear or you are just watching for informational purposes, you might say, well, he's biased. The market's crazy. We talked about one-bedroom condos. I did a blog on it called The One-Bedroom Condo Market is on Fire. I then did a video on it, or I think it might have been the other order. The condos started the year absolutely on fire and still continue to be on fire. $550,000 condos in November are now worth $600,000. But the freehold market's now on fire too. So last week I did a blog called Can I Get That for Under $1 Million? One of those houses sold for 1.1 last night. Absolutely no precedent. No precedent whatsoever for that. And I told you that I appraised a house for a client late last year. And I told him, based on comps, you might be able to get $1 million. His house is now worth $1,150,000. That's how crazy the market is. So with that in mind, today I thought we'd do something different. We would do a geographic Pick 5, not to say because it's so gosh darn depressing what's happening in the market, but because there's actually an area that I want to look at. So here it is. So we'll go to our map of Toronto here, and I want to zoom in to Roncesvalles. But here's where we're going to veer off. So I've done Roncesvalles blogs many times in the past, Pick 5s that is. And prime Ronces, as we say, is sort of in here. And Parkdale's down towards Queen Street, and we don't love Parkdale. Well, if we're going to a cool, funky restaurant, not me, because I don't go out. But there's some neat spots along there that I told you that one time I went to that shishi place and I ordered, and it was literally like a drumstick on a piece of white bread. I think it was called Parts and Motor. Is that right? You're probably watching this. You're like, you know what? Let's zoom in. I bet we can find it. No, I can't. Burrito Boys. See, I would rather have Burrito Boys than any of these stupid shishi restaurants. I don't see it. Tennessee Tavern, there's a place someone told me they wanted to take me once, but as I mentioned, I don't go out. So there's some cool stuff down on Queen, but it's still Parkdale, right? And Parkdale's rough, or Parkdale is supposed to be rough, or there's that connotation that Parkdale's rough. It's not really actually, but most people in Ronces don't want to be south of Queen in here, into Parkdale. Google tells us this is Parkdale. This isn't. This is Ronces. What I wanted to do today was take you in here. So when I do Pick 5s, a lot of times on Ronces, I go east and west of Ronces. What I want to do today is just go west of Ronces, and we're going to look in and around this area here. So here are 5 properties. Fun times. Let's take a look at the map. So here we go, right? This is kind of neat. We are right in between Parkside and Ronces. What's the difference, you're asking? What's the difference? What's the difference between a house here on Pearson and a house here on Pearson? Well, first of all, you're next to the hospitals. You probably have sirens. Should it be cheaper? Yes. Is this more desirable? Maybe. As you get down to Grafton and Harvard and Marion, these are the 3 kind of bottom barrel streets in Ronces. They're closer to Queen. People much prefer to be up here. Westminster, Fermanagh, Garden Ave are 2 popular ones because there's schools on both those streets. So if you're here on Fern or here on Fern, there's no difference. Once you get closer to Parkside, the lots are larger. There's more detached, the houses are more spread out. Is there an advantage? I don't think so. If I'm really generalizing, notice how these streets are a little bit tighter together than these ones. I'm going to say that the houses are bigger and the lots are larger and maybe the boulevards are bigger. So it does have a bit of a different feel. If you get a chance, drive down Fern and drive down Garden and drive down Galley, and then in between Parkside and Ronces, go down Jeffrey, go down Westminster, and go down High Park Boulevard, and you will see for yourself that it is a bit different. So there are 4 schools in the area, and all ranked differently. Now, only 2 of them were ranked in the latest Fraser Institute rankings, which is so frustrating. I don't know why. I guess maybe the class was sick at Howard and they didn't do the test. So there's Fern, there's Garden. So you've got Garden as a 7.6 out of 10. which is 495th out of about 3,200 schools. And then you've got Fern, which is a 7.0, 865th out of 3,200 schools. I don't think there's a huge difference between a 7.6 and a 7. In fact, I'm going to tell you that there isn't. It's just a ranking, and it changes every single year. Don't get bogged down in that. Go and look at, and I always say this, I don't have kids in public school, but this is what I would do. Go and look at the size of the school. Look at the classrooms. Talk to the teachers. Look at what's happening outside. For example, Besborough School, where I used to play soccer, is now portables because schools are overcrowded. Oh, you know what? Off topic. A friend of mine who teaches grade 11 and told me how bad the public school system is recently sent me this. Can we put this up? Just put it full, okay? Yeah, that's a grade 11 student who literally can't spell. Let's go back to me. Okay, so my friend, I don't know why I used air quotes. I'm not going to name the person. Man, I mean, what happened? You know, like grade 11. I was so into grade 11 math. I went out and got that graph paper with the tiny little boxes and mechanical pens with the eraser, and I perfected it. I got a 98 in grade 11 math. I was so happy. And this kid right here cannot spell. And the name on there is Faith, okay? So that's not somebody that, you know, English is not their first language. This is the public school system. So I tell you this not to poo-poo on the public school system, but to say that at the end of the day, Fraser Institute rankings, what do they really mean? You cannot look at rankings. You got to get in there. And I know this because my daughter's going to be 4 next year, and this is exactly what my wife and I have been doing. Let's go to the properties. Okay, so we're going to start with 48 Parkdale Road. Now you hear Parkdale, right? Starts to ruminate, right? Regent Park. Ooh, Regent Park? Yeah, Regent Park's on fire right now for condos. So 30 years ago, Regent Park, awful, terrible, brutal, right? Regent Park condos, 10, 8, 7 years ago, okay, started to be built, started to pop up, started to maybe start to appreciate, yeah. Did I mention I'm on no sleep? Regent Park's on fire. The only people that don't like the name Regent Park are the people that grew up thinking it was a terrible area. I will say the same thing for Parkdale Road. Now, where is Parkdale Road? It's in this neat little pocket here, very quiet, very close to the hospital. And so with the hospital, you're always kind of worried that what? It's going to be loud, there's going to be sirens. This is a nice little street. And you know what? It is quiet. Say what you want about proximity to the hospital. If you know where the emergencies on this side, see here, where are you likely to get the most sirens? Probably not over here on Parkdale. And so I had a client last year, God, what a beautiful house. It's the kind of house I'd love one day. They're in and around here on Indian, just a gorgeous house. And it's built up on this hill. And you know, I really, really love this pocket. It's so beautiful. And so this house here, from the front, it looks like a Bloor West Village detached, right? It's square, it's shaped like an L, side profile with that porch. And you know, curb appeal, to each their own. We're so used to, in this area, looking at these beautiful Edwardians and some of these Victorians, right? Picture the houses that were built in the 1800s and they've got like the turret on the side. This is, you know, a salt box. But this is entry level to the area. So we're at $1,389,000 and we are detached. Personally, if I could get a 25-foot semi, and this is $1,249,000, I think I'd prefer that. You share a wall. Hopefully the kid next door doesn't play the drums. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. There's a bedroom in the basement, and it has parking, front yard parking. So we've got a finished basement. See this family room? Do you want to bet that there's no family room? Family room doesn't exist in the basement. A family room's on the main floor. And the price point, obviously, this thing is open to offers. I would wonder if this here is a legal parking pad. So let me check. And yes, 48 Parkdale Road, front parking pad, beautiful. So legal parking, inside, pretty nice. People love exposed brick. I don't know what's happening with this wall here. Might have taken that out. My guess, originally this flowed right through to the kitchen. Instead of taking this down, they've done something different. Interesting. Yeah, this wall here. That's what most people take down, or at least take the door off. So they've done something a little bit different. Oh, you know what? They probably have a much, much bigger kitchen. Yeah, there you go. Oh, they put the fridge there. This is kind of interesting. So this used to be a walk-through. And they've blown out the kitchen to make it bigger, and you don't have access from the hall to the kitchen. That's interesting. I wonder how I feel about that. Or not I wonder. How do I feel about that? That's what I meant to say. So we've got a nice kitchen, but it's a galley and it's enclosed. And that's unique. Some people might not like that. You've got a little laminate countertop here. Got some basic ceramic tiles. So the finishes are decent, but I really like that main floor, save for the, you know, weirdness there with the fridge. Decent sized bedrooms upstairs. Okay, massive closet. Very rare to find in a house this size. And then here we've got the basement rec room. Ignore this, you can drywall around it. You've got the bedroom down there. You've got the other 4-piece down here. This is a perfect starter home. And I'm sorry for like $1.5 million plus. It's a starter home, right? Haven't rented the bathroom in the basement. You're used to seeing this, right? These tiles, black and white with a little mosaic like this. It's probably 80s. Basement bedroom. We've got a backyard. We've got a garage. Nice old trellis. Grow some grapes of wrath. I was going to say Bob's your uncle, but I hate that expression. So I like this house. This might throw some buyers. Originally, as I said, this wall existed, right? This is a, let's say, early 1900s house, and this is where you walked through. Most people will take all this out and open it up. For whatever reason, and it could have been renovated a couple of different times or something by different owners, and maybe owner 1 did something that owner 2 didn't want to undo. And you can see here, this thing sold for $1.2 million. It was a duplex, right? Sold for $1.2 million. And it was still there, right? Not a duplex, sorry. It had a kitchen in the basement. But it's more or less all the same. So these guys haven't really done anything different, right? They just bought the house for $1.2 million. And this was in May of 2017, so the market dropped off. So figure $1.149 million, had this sold in February, would have sold for $1.350 million. These guys got a freaking steal because they bought in May. Now here we are at $1.389 million, and what are we gonna sell for? Well, the house next door at 50 sold for $1.4 million. It's the same lot size. And this thing sold November of 2018. Now, November 2018 is a long time ago, but this is a 3-unit property. So how do we judge $1.4 million for a 3-unit property, albeit, what, over a year ago? So I guess I might consider looking at this, 62 Parkdale, right? It's a detached 2.5-story, way wider lot, $1.575 million, 3-bed, 3-bath, unfinished basement, and it's got a kitchen down there. And then I might say, you know what? I'm just going to go with my gut. This in this market right now, the floor is 1.5. Now 1.5, because it's detached. If this was a semi, it'd probably cost less. And you're seeing some wild things on the east side. Wood mount, detached, 3-bed, 2-bath, sold for $1.4 million. It's basically a semi that's not attached at one side. And I told you I wasn't going to talk about comps, but Moberly last night, Moberly, $929. It's a 1-1 house, 1125. Maybe 115, sold for $1.220 million. There were 20 plus offers. So what's the level of buyer fatigue in this price point? You're getting 22 offers on 929s, and how many were under $1 million? I mean, just stupid. Fire your agent, fire yourself, you're a moron. $1.389 million to $1.5 million, $1.550 million. I think there's a lot less buyers, and I think that's going to keep this probably where it woulda, coulda, should be. Okay, let's move along. Wrong window. Let's move along here to the next one that's sort of, but not really maybe, in this price point. I'll show you why. We're going to look at some 2.7s in a minute. This is 292 Garden. So 292 Garden, basically around the corner. Same pocket. Now, both of these houses are in the Garden School District. So here's Garden School. It's still on the west side of Ronces, right? Here's Fern up here. And then there's the Catholic school up here. And then Howard. Where's Howard? I'm not going to waste my time looking around, but those are the 4 schools plus the Catholic school. So again, I love, we're going to go to the, oh, so cool. Okay, so we're going to go to the aerial shot. I love it. I love these streets. They're really quiet. I mean, Parkside Drive is here. You would think you're getting a ton of overflow traffic. You're not, honestly. So now you've got a semi-detached 2.5-story. It's narrow at 17.5. It's short, it's 85, and there's no parking. You see this a lot. So my clients have bought an Indian, no parking. House was absolutely gorge. This thing, 4 beds, 2 baths, but only a 2-piece on the main. So you only have 1 4-piece bathroom. Full basement, part finished is code for probably not finished. Let's take a look, right? So this is very, very common. This is the Edwardian style, built up off the ground, no parking, you gotta park in the street. So brick, they put a little fake fireplace in here. I know it's fake, could be wood burning. But you've got nice original features. You've got original leaded windows, but you've smoothed out the ceiling. You've got lights that are probably from the 90s. You've got floors that are newer. They're kind of engineered hardwood, feel like they should be in a condo, right? It's a mishmash of different finishes. But it's very open. It's very clean. It's very modern. Small 4-person dining table, right? 17.5 feet wide. So ask yourself, how far is this chair from the wall? Do I really have to pull it out here? Do I have enough room to have 6 people between here and here? Yeah, you probably do. So it's not a huge footprint, but it's a really great house. There's the 2-piece in the main. I'd love to renovate the basement, and good shot from back there. Yeah, I like it. This might be stretched. Yeah, that's stretched for sure. I hate when people do that. So love the brick accent, right? Upstairs, original fireplace closed up. They're very expensive to take out. More brick, original door. Again, we've got the smooth ceiling. This here could be fake or that could be an original molding. I think it's very cool when you keep some of the original finishes in here. They're probably not going to show us downstairs. So that's the top floor. Oh, downstairs. Okay, so part finished. I said it's code for not finished. I would say that this is literally the definition of part finished. So we've got a washer dryer floating out here, thrown down some laminate. This ductwork looks new. Maybe they ran it down the middle originally and then they moved it to the side so you can drywall around that. Yeah, finished. Maybe if you wanted to drywall around these, that's when you see those big pillars and you always go, do we have to have this? Yeah, because that's what's underneath it. It's holding up your house. So depending on the ceiling height here, this could be a pretty decent rec room. I mean, couch is staring at your washer dryer. Like, hello, I'm filming. You know what it is? Everyone wants to come by and ask me how my kid is. This is why I want to work from home. Okay, so couch staring at the washer dryer, right? Now playing. So they've kind of set this up to look like it could be a rec room. They put some kid stuff back here, but the new owner is going to have to decide what to do with this space. So, like it, don't love it, okay? It's got that extra half story. And if you look down here, you've got master, second, and third. Your fourth bedroom is being sold as a 4-bedroom. Is on the top floor. You've got to walk out to the deck. So it's probably not going to be a kid's space. There's no bathroom upstairs. They've broken up the floor plans. I hate when they do that. So here's the bedroom upstairs. I mean, you're really just going to use it as a rec room or an office. It's really a 3-bed, 1, 2, 3. Now down the line, if you want to build off the back, hello, sweet master. Up top, blow this out, and what are you going to do? You're going to have a bigger bedroom out to here, and then you're going to have a big bathroom, 5-piece, his and hers closets. I think a deck is a waste. It really is. So there's some future in this one. What's it going to sell for? Of course, $1 million question. Here's $295 garden. I don't understand, right? Same lot, 20 by 188.5, 0 parking, 5-bed, 1 bath. Like, what's going on? Chopped up house. Sold for $1,149,000 when? February of last year. $1,149,000. Okay. Well, all the original freestanding walls, pretty much original throughout. So if you figure you had to take this, right, because it's the exact same floor plan, remember this photo here, and now, right, this photo here. So you've opened it all up. I mean, you're probably $100,000 just to do like the one floor. So, you know, that's why I'm kind of throwing this out, plus the price appreciation's been massive over the last little while. And we've got 285 garden, sold for $1,295,000, right, similar lot, no parking. And recently 57 Indian. So this is the one that I mentioned my clients were in. It was absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, what's this today? I mean, this was May of last year. God, I don't know. It was gorgeous. Can I show this? Like, unbelievable. It's one of the nicest houses I sold last year. Oh, it was so beautiful. Amazing. Look at this thing. Unbelievable. So, I mean, look, I don't know what this costs now. I thought we did okay on it, actually. I thought it could have gone for 1.7. But I think if this house is on the market right now, yeah, it's $1,750,000, right? So if that's this here, then what is this here? What I want it to be and what it's going to go for are two different things. I think there's 1.6 upside on this. I do not like it at that point, at that price. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, I think that was fair. All right, so let's move on to some other houses where there are no offer dates. Okay, look, offers welcome anytime. Hello. So 191 Grenadier, 191 Grenadier. Okay, I don't know why I did that, but so 191 Grenadier. It's one of those words that people pronounce that should be pretty easy, mispronounced, should be pretty easy to pronounce. Words are not my friend today. So now you're into one of these bigger, better, wider boulevard as opposed to here, right? This is what you're, and keep in mind, this is a laneway, but see the size of these houses and the size of these boulevards? These are just way, way bigger. So it is a detached. It's on a 25-foot wide, and look at it. It's a monster. It's a 2.5-story, the built-in garage, the main floor, 5-bed, 5-bath, listed at $2.5 million. This thing's beautiful. Even from the outside, you can just tell they have rejuvenated, revived the exterior. What was probably at one point a very dirty, derelict home, I don't know that it was, but in the course of what, 100+ years, these things get worn, man. The bright, beautiful red brick, I love it. So then inside, again, tell me that this is original or this is original, might not notice the difference, but doesn't it just seem like a nice refresh on a century-old Edwardian. It's beautiful. So I think this house is so cool. This is a projector screen. It's kind of different. And kitchen's not huge. You might expect to see a way bigger kitchen. 25-foot lot, right? So that's not bad from there, right? And here's where it actually looks a little bit smaller. So this isn't a huge footprint, right? I'm talking myself in circles. There's some things about this house that are massive, 25-foot lot, 3 stories, some things that maybe aren't as much. But keep in mind, this is an 8-person table. And the first one I showed you on a 17.5-foot wide lot, there was a 4-person. One of the chairs was wedged up against the wall. The magic of staging and photography. This is actually a very large dining. But in some areas, you might expect to see one massive kitchen. Not so much in a house like this. You might expect to see that kitchen family combination in a lot of the newer houses, maybe on 36-foot lots in Leaside, maybe on 40, 50-foot lots in North Toronto, Rosedale, Midtown, etc. This is pretty big for what it is, right? A house on Grenadier. But it's not, as I said, and I don't contradict myself, from here is the front window, from here is the back. It's not a huge footprint. Does that make any sense? God, guys, honestly, in my mind, it does. My daughter came and slept in the bed with me last night, which we never do. I just couldn't get her to sleep. And my wife says the baby's amazing, though. He's sleeping 3 hours at a time. But I'm really having trouble stringing words together. I'm not one of those people that complains about sleep. God damn, am I tired. Okay, so here's upstairs, right? Okay, nice ensuite. Window a little bit small for a bedroom of this size. You might expect to see a little bit better. This one, again, feels like it's a little bit stretched to me. I don't love when they do that. So we've set this up as a home office. I would like to stage it as a bed. There's the bed, somewhat unmade. Bath. I'm feeling lightheaded. And upstairs in the half story, here's one of those bedrooms with the walkout where you really don't want your kid. I guess if they're teenagers, but then they just smoke weed up there, right? Everyone smokes weed. It's legal. I don't smoke weed. So then you've got the basement. This is kind of the bed rec combination. And then you've got this little kitchenette, which I hate because you're probably not renting your basement when you're living in a $2.5 million house. So 5 bed, 5 bath. Do we have a floor plan? Yes, thank God, because that was so chopped up. Work with me here. I'm going to zoom in and then zoom around. Oh, I can't do that. Lucky me. Here we go. All right. So for those that think, there we go. We're going to focus on this. For those that think that you want to take down all the interior freestanding walls in here, you could. Some people think that it makes it way too open concept. And here's what I was saying, guys, about how big it is, and yet it's not that big because it didn't make any sense except in my head, is that the footprint from the front of the house to the back is not massive. But with a 25-foot wide lot, and you're kind of combining here, right? The dining doesn't need to be this long. And the kitchen's off to the side. If you took these out, you could have a longer living. You're not constrained by this. And you could either push the dining here, and this becomes living, because right now it's not, it's effectively dining, or you could do the opposite. You could have the dining here, I don't know, desk, couch, something like that. So a lot of people really want to open these things up. I love the old character and charm, even though I have a modern house. Upstairs, 3 bedrooms, right? Top floor, Jack, Jill, 3-piece, works perfectly. And then downstairs, right, you've got this little kitchenette, you've got this living where they had a bed. There's so much house here, guys. And for 2.5, they've been on the market 8 days, hasn't sold. Right, this makes sense. Price a little bit higher, maybe come down over time. Let's show the listing history because this will shed a little bit of light on this. They've owned this thing for, wow, $1,250,000 in 2009. They renovated it, rented it, now they're moving it, right? So it's not a flip. It's been there for a long time. I would suspect the quality is probably there as well. Okay, so we'll move along now to 221 Pearson, which is a piercing house from the outside. Love this. Red brick, full 3-story, and a very different look, might I say. So where is 2221 Pearson? It's on the other side now of the hospital. So here's where you might say, well, am I going to hear the sirens? Yeah, maybe. Is that going to affect the price point? Remains to be seen. So Pearson is in Garden, Howard. Yeah, Pearson's in Garden School District. So the only one, Grenadier, was in Howard. This has been on the market for 15 days. It's $2.6 million. So everyone that's looking at Pearson is going to look at the one that we just looked at on Grenadier. So what are you looking for? What's the difference here? This is a 25 by 90, 5-bed, 5-bath. This is a 26 by 120. You've got a 30-foot deeper lot. It's a full 3-story, only 4 beds. So do you need 5 bedrooms? No, probably not. I'm going to show you the floor plans here first. Oh, for Christ's sake. Let me just turn this around. So different layout, obviously, right? Foyer. You've got the living room in the front, and the stairs are splitting the house, which is what the last one didn't have. This situation here is odd. They call it a den. I'll show you in the photos. Then you've got living, then you've got a massive kitchen. So two houses that are on the same size width. They look similar from the outside, very, very different inside. So upstairs, again, similar. We're used to 3 bedrooms on the second floor. You have, this is interesting, a 5-piece bath, which is pretty big. That's, I guess, shared by the 2 kids. And then bedroom over here, 3-piece ensuite. So we'll get to those in a minute because this bedroom here, let's see, actually looks like the same size as this one. Now this one has no closet. This one has a closet. Which one is the master? I don't know. Okay, so then we get up to the top. I was joking, right? Here's the master. So this is what I was talking about with, I can't remember the property. Was it the second one? Here's where they've blown out the back. You've got the master. And if you consider that the other house had 4 bedrooms, and I said, well, you've got 3 on the main, right? And that's why I was saying that all 3 of the bedrooms were the same, which one's the master? Because that's what ends up happening in these 4-bedroom with the top that doesn't really lead anywhere. Here you've got the master, and then you add the walk-in closet and the 5-piece bath, and then you've got the little balcony. This is exactly what I said about the second property, which was which one? On Garden. So, you know, again, to each their own. Do you want to buy it or do you want to build it? This seems to be what these folks have done up here. Then you've got the basement, you've got the rec room. Okay, I made my point. But I'll go to the photos here, and, okay, living, coffered ceiling, dining, massive kitchen. Where's what we call the den? They're not going to show it to us. It's kind of in between. Okay, so bedroom 1, bath. Bedroom 2, which has a Peloton. I should get one of those, except I'm totally broken. Bedroom 3. Okay, here's upstairs. So again, you go back to the Grenadier, you've got the 1 bedroom. Well, it's a staircase to a little room, doesn't really have anything else. These guys built it out the back, I'm assuming, and they've got the closet, which leads to the bathroom and then has a deck. This is what you want to do with your 3rd floor. See this? This just works. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is a great house. Nice finishes. Here's the bedroom, or the basement. God, I really can't talk. That's not going to work for us. Thanks. Okay, backyard. I don't love the scaffolding here, and this also tells me that, you know, this is a multi-unit. Nice little deck, probably wouldn't use. And then backyard, parking, and Bob's your uncle. So I don't know that it's worth $2.6 million. Let's take a look here, the address history. And yeah, they paid $2.435 in 2017. So they bought it in May. Again, you're going back to that period where I've got to think that this was discounted. Even in this price point, things were going nuts. Now, the kind of funny part here, and again, like, you know, basically the same house, 2.435 in 2017, it should be worth way more than 2.6. Am I right? It just doesn't have the feel, you know? It just doesn't have the feel. So on paper, yes, this literally based on appreciation should be way over 2.6, but it doesn't have that feel to me. And so, I don't know, do you go with your gut or do you go with what the numbers say? They tried to sell it for 2.795. When was this? This was last December. So they're at 2.795. Now they're at 2.6. They paid 2.435. In our current listing, we're sitting on the market for 15 days. So I think it's absolutely gorgeous from the outside. I love the shape of it. I like what they've done with the top floor. But you're getting into a $2.6 million home. There are so many other options out there. And people are going to get very, very specific at this price point. People are going to wait to find exactly what they want. They're not going to compromise. And if there's something about this house that they don't like, they're not going to spend top dollar on it. So I wish these people best of luck. Boy, that's tough. That should, by all intents and purposes, be worth well over what they're asking. It just doesn't happen to be. Okay, now we're at 261 Wright. Now this is fun. Okay, I'm going to show you the photo here. Which house is for sale? I don't know. Beautiful house. Right now we're into yellow brick. I love it. Nice landscaping. It's an Edwardian, right? You've got the hexagonal bay at both the main floor and the second floor. Love the original door. These two dormers out top actually kind of remind me where we just kind of were here, right? Similar, hexagonal bay, very similar look and feel to it. But I really don't understand why they took a photo of both houses. So here we've got a 27.5 by 100, and they're asking 2.7 mil. So what's the difference here? A lot of times the difference is in the layout and the finishes. Now specifically with the location, is there a big, big difference? Well, Pearson, right next to the hospital, right, I have to think there is a big, big difference. Now, to each their own. I think this, you know, things like, for example, you know, this is radiant, right? And here's your window unit. You know, layout, it's staircase is not cutting the house like the one we saw 3 houses ago, but it's not as open as some people like let's say the clients that I sold in Indian. In here it is much more traditional. You can tell just by the moldings, dark blue paint, you got a designer maybe, French doors with the clear glass. It's a very, very different style. And again, as I said, to each their own. At this price point, people are looking for what they want. So again, look at the front door and look at the back of the house, right? It's a really wide house, and it's, a pretty big, I was gonna say, this is literally what I said 2 houses ago. I don't know how to explain myself. It's big and small at the same time. It makes absolutely no sense. Okay, so kitchen off to the side. Really what they've done here is they've flipped, right? They've put the living here and the dining at the front. So I guess the point I was trying to make, and like my house is like this too, I'm on a 50 by 100 foot lot. So 100 feet with backyard and front yard, literally I feel like, or when I first walked into my house, I felt like I could touch the back door from the front door, right? So it's big, this is wide, it's roomy, but you can, you could spit. I could. I'm a good spitter, if that's a thing. I don't even know what that means because I was a kid growing up, chewing seeds, right? Baseball. Anyways, okay. So the point that I was making, which probably wasn't conveyed with the other house either, is that we got a wide lot, we got large principal rooms, but it actually does kind of feel like when you're at the very back of the house, the front is a bit closer than you might like it to be. Okay. I really like this house. Nice little Eden. It's probably, I would say I like it more than the second one. Sorry, the last one. Okay, that's a killer top floor. And again, these guys have a full 3-story. So again, rads, bit of a different feel to it. Peloton, Jesus Christ, I gotta get a Peloton. Everyone's got a freaking Peloton. So this is what could be the master. It's the Peloton room. Bedrooms all look similar. You feel like you've seen them all. We're down in the basement, got a nice rec room. Clearly not photos from this week. A nice landscaped yard. Yeah, wow, 2.7 mil. So, I mean, how does this differ? 2.7 mil on Wright, 27.5 foot wide. We got 2.6 mil, 26 feet wide. We got 25 by 90 foot lot for 2.5. These houses are all so incredibly different. Personally, I like this one the most. I like the location the most. I like the inside the most. It's a little bit more traditional. It's a full 3-story. Private drive, does it matter? This is a laneway off the back. It's full 3-story red brick, right? This is totally different shape to it. Didn't love the kitchen in the basement, but what I find interesting about these 3 houses is that the buyer for this price point in Ronces, Sunnyside, Parkdale is going to look at all 3. All 3 are on the market. So that one buyer that looked at the 3 houses hasn't bought any of them yet, right? That's exactly the point I was trying to make, is that the buyer at this price point in this area, they're not going to make the compromises. They're going to find what they want, and if it's not out there, they'll wait. I suspect that the buyer for these houses, it's probably the people living in one of these, right? I live in a 3-bed semi, say that this is $1.3 million, $1.4 million. I live in a 3-bed semi. I love the area. I'm going to move up to a detached 4 to 5 bed. That's twice the price. Think about it. If you're in a condo, you can move to any neighborhood. If you're in a neighborhood, like let's say you grew up, in a semi in Leaside, did you move to the detached in Leaside, right? I grew up on Parker, so we moved to Besbro. People move within the same area. And I picked these properties today because I think that this represents entry level and this represents next level up. And to be honest, because I really wanted to get away from the crazy, crazy sales. Guys, that's it for me for this week. Thank you for watching. I assume there was a ton of editing and I might not have made sense at a lot of times. I'm not going to go home and get sleep because I can't, because there's work to be done. My wife's amazing. I love you. You gave birth to a baby with no drugs. As I told her, that's how they did it in 10,000 BC. So I'm working. It's nice to be back in the office. I don't need sleep. I'm going to go get a coffee. Showing tonight, offer tonight. Probably going to put my kid to bed, though, in between. Got a great team behind me. We're all working our tails off. Whew, that was close. Guys, have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye for now.